Hello everyone, this is Palak Kumrawat, a student at International Institute of Professional Studies, Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya, Indore. I am currently in my third year of the course, integrated course, BTech, MTech and Information Technology. And this video is my lab assignment for data science using Python, which I have done under the guidance of Dr. Shaligram Prajapat sir. तो इस वीडियो में हमें ये सारे डेटा साइंस के कंसेप्ट्स को किसी भी एक लैंग्वेज से इम्प्लीमेंट करना है आइदर यूजिंग आर और पाइथन. सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड. द फर्स्ट वन इज बेसिक्स ऑफ कोडिंग. आई हैव डन the whole assignment using Python language. How would be using comments or implementing comments in Python? So what are comments? Comments are pieces of code that are not executed by the compiler. So they are not interpreted as any keyword or any. They are not the important aspect of the code. They are just for the user's understanding that what has the programmer done in the code for better code understanding. So let's have a look how comments are written in Python. I am using this spider ID for my Python programs execution. Uh, this is how we write comments in Python. It is written using the hash symbol, and just a second. If we run, try to run the code, uh, it's just a comment, so we haven't seen any output. Let's execute some code. The interpreter doesn't executes this command. So this is how we write comment in Python. Moving on to the next one. How do we execute commands in Python? Any code you type needs to be run or executed before it will work. There are different ways to execute the code. Uh, let's have a look at the IDE itself. So this button is used to run the whole code what you have written in this way in this window, and this button is used to run the current selected line of code. Suppose I have written two statements here. Let them be. So if I select this single line of code and I want to run only this line of code, we will be using this. So it has executed only the single line, and if I want to run the whole code that I have written, then we will be using this button here. So this is how we got the different outputs. Moving on to the next one. So you can also try executing comments. As discussed previously, comments will not be compiled and there will be no output. And now, how would we import packages in Python? That packages, what are packages? Packages contain specially designed code that will enable us to perform complex data science tasks without writing the codes ourselves. So some of the most famous and commonly used packages are NumPy, Pandas, which can be applied to data science, deep learning, and machine learning models. So this is the syntax for uh, how do we import the packages in Python. So let's copy this and execute in our IDE. I will be writing so what's it showing? Pandas as PD imported but unused. We haven't used the package yet, so that's why it's showing the warning. What is this as? as is the alias used for the pandas package. As uh, we won't write pandas everywhere in the code. So to for the code's understanding and readability, we have taken the alias of the package. So this is how we import the package in Python. And moving to the next one that is getting data into Python. So how do we get the data from the data set and print it on our console window? So this is the syntax for getting the data. We use this pandas function, that is read underscore CSV, that will be reading the path to the file or dataset we will be importing. So the command read CSV comes from the pandas package. After importing the pandas package, we can access the read underscore CSV command by typing PD. That is, PD references here to the panda. The next part of the code is the path to the data file contained in double quotes. So here we will be writing the path where our dataset exists. This is an example for getting data into Python. Let's run it on our Spider IDE. So I have written the code already here. We have imported the pandas and numpy packages, and we have taken the bank marketing training dataset, which all the datasets in my videos I have downloaded it from the Willy's website. Uh, the book Actually, Willy publication has a book. I don't remember the authors, but if you want the dataset, I will be mentioning that too here. So what we have done is we have read the dataset by using the read underscore CSV function. So and this is the path, and this is the I have written the mode here. So let's run this. So these these are the few initial values of the dataset and some of the last values. So this is how we get the data into the Python. Next, how do we save? Certain commands generate output that can be used in other lines of code. Just like for the tables, cross table we generated, we can construct a bar graph using that. So we need to save that table for constructing the bar graph. To use the output in later code, you need to save the output as a named object. So this is the syntax for saving. How would we be saving the output? Uh, let's execute this. It will be more understandable. So this is how we have imported the packages. We have just for our understanding printed the few values of the dataset. I'm removing that. This I have generated a table, cross tab table, using the cross tab function of pandas library. So let me execute it. Let's comment out this section. Uh, Actually, I remember the VS Code shortcuts. Yes. So this is the table generated by the cross tab function. Let me execute it. So it has generated it. And if I will be saving it using in a variable, uh, let me remove the comments. Now comment out this section. Okay. Well, so we have saved that table into a cross tab underscore 01 variable and have printed that variable itself. So we can further use this variable for constructing any graphs, or this variable may be useful for further purposes. If we wanted to make a table and not use it elsewhere in this code, this would be sufficient. However, we want to use this table to make a bar chart. So we have to save that. This is what I have discussed. Now, the next one is accessing records and variables in Python. So how do we access a particular record of the data set? Suppose I want to access the first record of the data set, or second record of the data set, or a particular column, or a set of columns. So let's understand this through the examples, which I have already written here. I will explain them. Yes. Oh, just a second. Well, so this line of code will access the first record with its field values. These are the field and it's the values, and this whole one is the first record. So next execute the next query. Yeah. Mm, yes. So the second line of code, this is what was generated by the first line of code. Now the second line will be accessing the record number 0, 2 and 3. Indexing is done in Python from starting from 0. So the first record will be at 0th index. So the first record, the third record and the fourth record are accessed. So this is how the output looks here. And this will generate the records from the range. This colon represents the range from 0 to 10th record, including both of them. So this is what I have generated. The 10th record was ignored. 0 was included. Similar to the list concepts. This line of code will give all the values for the field age. Okay. Like for different age groups, how much many people exist, like, and what are the age values for each of them. Next is print. This will be accessing the fields age and job and their respective field values of the complete data set. So thank you everyone. This is all in this video.